The bar on Station Nexus was busy tonight. Lights from 100 different worlds flashed across the ceiling. Music from 10 different planets played at once. The air smelled of strange foods and strong drinks. Drox sat alone at his table in the corner. His large body was covered in hard green plates. 4 of his 6 eyes watched the door while the other 2 kept track of the room. Scars crossed his tough skin. Each one told of a battle he had won. He took a drink from his cup. The blue liquid burned his throat. Drox had been fighting for money for 30 years. His team was the best in this part of space. Everyone knew it. That's why the human had called him here. The door opened. Drox's upper eyes turned to look. Human male walked in. He wore a neat black suit that fit him perfectly. His black hair was short and tidy. His face was calm. He moved through the crowded room without touching anyone. The human looked small and soft next to the other aliens. Drox clicked his teeth. Humans always looked weak. That's what made them so dangerous. The human reached his table and gave a small bow. Commander Drox? I am Jun Kim. Thank you for meeting me. Drox waved at the empty chair. Sit. Jun sat down with perfect posture. His hands rested on the table. They looked smooth, without claws or armor. Drox knew better. Those hands had probably killed before. You want to hire my team? Drox said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Jun answered. His voice was quiet but clear over the noise of the bar. Our colony on Horizon needs protection. From what? Krishak raiders. Jun's face didn't change when he said the name, but Drox felt his own body tense. The Krishak were brutal fighters. They stood 3 meters tall with thick purple skin that could stop small weapons. They had 4 arms and loved to use all of them in battle. Drox had fought them twice before. Many of his fighters had died those days. Krishak are serious enemies, Drox said. Why are they attacking a human colony? Resources at first, Jun said. Our planet has rare metals they want, but now they've started taking our people too. For slaves? For food. Drox's stomach turned. Even he had standards. Taking people for food was wrong. Still, something didn't make sense. Why hire mercenaries? Humans have their own military. Jun sighed. Politics. Earth fleet is busy with problems near the core worlds. The Galactic Council won't help because our colony isn't officially recognized yet. We've asked everyone for help. Jun touched his wrist computer. A small 3D map appeared above the table. It showed a green planet with 2 moons. Red dots appeared around it. The Kreshak have 7 ships. They hide in the asteroid belt between attacks. We have only 2 small defense ships. They will come again soon, and we can't stop them alone. Drox looked at the map. 7 Kreshak ships was a serious threat, but nothing his team couldn't handle. His battle cruiser carried weapons that could destroy their ships from a safe distance. It would be dangerous but simple. You still haven't said why you called me, Drox said. There are cheaper mercenaries. We don't want cheap. We want the best. Jun touched his wrist again. The map disappeared and numbers took its place. This is what we'll pay. Drox's 4 upper eyes widened. His lower eyes checked the number, again to be sure. The amount was 3 times his normal rate. With that money, he could buy a new ship. His fighters could live well for years. That's a lot, Drox said. We've collected from every person in the colony, Jun explained. This is everything we have. Will you help us? Drox thought about it. The job seemed simple enough. His ship could destroy the Kreshak from orbit without even landing. The humans would be safe. His team would be rich. And yet, a cold feeling moved through his body. An old memory came back to him. 10 years ago on a water planet called Tellus. His team had been hired to fight alongside humans against insect aliens. The humans were scientists, not soldiers. But when the fighting started, Drox shook his head to clear the memory. I will think about your offer, he said. I need to talk to my team. Of course. Jun stood up. We leave tomorrow at noon. Please let me know your answer before then. He placed a small metal card on the table. My contact information. June gave another small bow and walked away. Drox watched him go. The human moved with perfect balance. His steps were quiet. His hands never swung too wide. Everything about him was controlled. Drox picked up the card and put it in his pocket. The money was so good, but something felt wrong. After finishing his drink, Drox left the bar. He walked through the busy station toward his ship. Aliens of all kinds moved out of his way. At nearly 2.5 meters tall and covered in armor, Drox was an impressive sight. His ship, the Daggerfang, waited in Dock 12. The black and red cruiser was the pride of his life. 120 meters long, armed with plasma cannons and missile launchers. His crew of 30 lived on board. They were the best fighters money could buy. The door hissed open as he approached. Inside, the ship was cool and quiet. The smell of metal and cleaning fluid replaced the strange odors of the station. "How did it go?" a voice asked from the shadows. Drox turned to see his second-in-command, Mekla. The Tellurian female had 4 arms and skin that changed colors with her mood. Right now, she was a deep blue, showing concern. Her large black eyes watched him carefully. "The job is simple, the pay is excellent," Drox said. "Then why do you smell worried?" Mekla moved closer. 2 of her hands rested on weapons. "The client is human." Mekla's skin flashed red with alarm. "You're not considering it, are you?" "The money. No amount of money is worth working with humans," she said quickly. Her voice was sharp. "You know," this Drox did know. Everyone in their line of work knew. Never take contracts from humans. It was an unwritten rule. "They're fighting Kreshak raiders," Drox explained. "The humans are just colonists, farmers and miners. The Kreshak are eating them." "Doesn't matter." Mekla's color changed to a stubborn purple. "Remember Tellus? I was just thinking about that. And Rigel 6 and Mako Station." Her lower arms crossed over her chest. "How many stories do we know? How many warnings have we heard?" Drox sighed. "Many." A message alert sounded from the ship's computer. Drox checked the screen on the wall. "It's from Vrex," he said with surprise. "Vrex? We haven't heard from him in years." "He wants to talk. Says, it's urgent." Drox pressed the accept button. A hologram appeared in front of them. It showed the face of an old friend. Vrex was from the same species as Drox, but much older. His green skin had faded to a dull gray. 2 of his limbs were missing, replaced with metal parts. "Drox, my friend," Vrex said. His voice sounded tired. "I heard a rumor that you met with a human today. Tell me you're not taking their contract." Drox's stomach turned cold. "How did you know about that?" "Word travels fast. Is it true?" "I'm thinking about it. The money is very good." Vrex's face showed real fear. "Listen to me carefully, old friend. No amount of money is worth working with humans, especially not in combat." "Why?" Drox asked. "What are you not telling me?" "Come to my ship," Vrex said. "I'll show you." The hologram disappeared. Drox looked at Mekla. Her skin had turned white, with fear. "I'll go hear what he has to say," Drox decided. "Then I'll make up my mind." As he turned to leave the ship again, Drox couldn't shake the feeling that he already knew what his answer to the human would be. "No, not for all the money. In the galaxy." Drox moved quickly through the crowded station. He took the fastest path to Dock 23, where his old friend Vrex had his ship. People moved out of his way when they saw him coming. The station was a busy place. Aliens from 100 worlds walked, crawled, or floated through the wide hallways. Shops sold food, weapons, and strange things from far planets. The air smelled of many different beings living close together. Dock 23 was in the old part of the station. The lights were dimmer here. The walls had rust spots. Vrex's ship, the Broken Claw, looked as old as its owner. The once proud ship was now covered in patches and repairs. Drox pressed the call button at the entrance. A camera eye looked at him. "It's open," Vrex's voice said from a speaker. The door slid open with a grinding sound. Inside, the ship smelled of old metal and medicine. Drox had to duck his head to fit through the hallways. The broken claw was made for smaller aliens than him. He found Vrex in the main room. His old friend sat in a large chair with screens all around him. Vrex looked much older than Drox remembered. 2 of his 6 arms were gone, replaced with metal ones that didn't move as smoothly. "Good to see you, old friend," Vrex said. His voice was rough now. "You too," Drox said, "though I wish it was for a happier reason." Vrex nodded and pointed to another chair. "Sit. This will take some time." Drox sat down. The chair creaked under his weight. "Tell me about the humans." "Not just tell. Show." Vrex pressed some buttons on his chair. The lights dimmed and a large screen lit up on the wall. "This is from 6 years ago. I worked for human miners on Tau Ceti 30. The screen showed a mining camp. Small buildings sat on red dirt. Machines dug into the ground. Humans walked around in work clothes. They hired me to protect them from the local animals," Vrex explained. "Big 6-legged hunters that came at night. Easy job. Good pay." The video changed to show a fight. Vrex's fighters shot at large black creatures that ran through the camp. The beasts had many teeth and moved very fast. 2 weeks in, everything changed, Vrex continued. A rival mining company sent mercenaries to take over. Krongan warriors, big tough fighters with the best weapons. We were outnumbered. The screen now showed new ships landing. Huge aliens in heavy armor stepped out. They carried large guns and moved with purpose. "I told the humans to hide," Vrex said. "I plan to talk to the Krongans, maybe make a deal. No reason to die for a mining camp." Drox nodded. That was smart thinking. The video showed Vrex walking toward the Krongans with his arms up. Then something happened that made Drox sit forward. A small human female ran past Vrex. She wore a simple worksuit and a helmet. In her hand was a small gun. She was heading straight for the Krongans. "That's Day Park," Vrex said. She was a rock scientist, studied dirt all day, not a fighter. On the screen, Day fired her gun at the Krongans. It didn't hurt them, but got their attention. The Krongans turned their big guns toward her. "I thought she was dead for sure," Vrex said. Then her gun stopped working. The video showed Day looking at her gun. She seemed annoyed, not scared. Then, she threw the gun at a Krongan and ran to a nearby machine. "What is she doing?" Drox asked. "Watch." Day opened a panel on the mining machine. Her hands moved quickly, connecting wires and pulling out parts. The Krongans were walking toward her. Now, one raised its gun. Suddenly, Day threw something at the Krongans. It hit the ground near them and exploded in a huge ball of fire. The camera shook and fell over. When the picture came back, 3 Krongans were on the ground. The others were backing away. "She made a bomb," Drox said in shock, "from mining equipment. In less than 30 seconds, Vrex agreed, while being shot at. The video continued. More humans ran from the buildings. They carried tools, not weapons. One had a cutting laser used for rocks. Another had a hammer. They attacked the Krongans, without fear. The humans fought like they weren't afraid to die, Vrex said. My fighters were professionals, but they were careful. The humans weren't. Drox watched as a human male picked up a Krongan weapon that was almost as big as him. He could barely lift it, but he fired it at the enemy ships. Another human drove a mining vehicle straight into a group of Krongans. "We won that day," Vrex said. "But 5 of my fighters died. 3 humans died. The difference was my fighters died being careful. The humans died taking 3 enemies with them each time." The video ended. The lights came back on. Vrex looked tired. "That's not the only story," he said. "There are many. Every mercenary who has worked with humans has one." Drox thought about this. "The human who wants to hire me seems calm. Normal." "They all do," Vrex said. "Until the fighting starts. Then they change." A beeping sound came from Vrex's computer. He checked it and frowned. "Someone else wants to talk to you about the humans," Vrex said. "He's calling now." "Who?" "Gruul." Drox's 4 upper eyes widened in surprise. "Gruul is here? On the station?" "Arrived this morning." Drox knew Gruul well. The massive Tauren was a famous mercenary captain. His fighters were some of the toughest in the galaxy. 4 arms, thick, skin that stopped most weapons, and a bad temper made Torans perfect for fighting. "Put him through," Drox said. The screen changed to show Grull's face. The Toran had gray skin with a hard plate on his forehead. One of his 4 eyes was missing, covered with a metal patch. He didn't look happy. "Drox," Grull said in his deep voice, "I hear you're thinking about taking a human contract." "News travels fast," Drox said. "Bad news always does." Grull pointed to his eye patch. "We need to talk. Face to face. This isn't a conversation for screens." "Where are you?" "The Red Star Bar. Come now." The screen went dark. Drox looked at Vrex. "You should go," Vrex said. "If Grull came all this way to warn you, it must be important." Drox stood up. "Thank you for showing me the video. Did it change your mind?" "It made me think," Drox admitted. "But the money is still very good." Vrex's face showed real worry. "Some things cost more than money, old friend." He pointed to his missing arms. "Some lessons are expensive." Drox left, the broken claw with a heavy feeling. He walked toward the Red Star Bar, thinking about what he had seen. The small human female making a bomb while being shot at. The humans attacking much larger enemies with simple tools. The lack of fear in their eyes. The Red Star Bar was in the center of the station. It was nicer than the bar where Drox had met, June. The lights were brighter, the drinks were better, and the customers were richer. Drox found Grull sitting at a large table in the back. The massive Toran had a drink that smoked in a metal cup. His 4 arms rested on the table. One of them now ended in a metal hand. "Sit," Grull said when he saw Drox. Drox sat across from him. "You look terrible." "I feel worse." Grull took a drink. "I heard about the human. June Kim, right?" "How do you know his name?" "I make it my business to know." Grull leaned forward. "Do not take his contract." "You too?" "Vrex just told me the same thing." "Listen to him." Grull tapped his eye patch. This is what working with humans got me." "The Kreshak are eating them," Drox said. "They're children." "Then the Kreshak are already dead," Grull said. "They just don't know it yet." Drox was confused. "What do you mean?" Grull pulled out a small device and placed it on the table. "I'm going to show you something. Something I've never shown anyone else, then you'll understand." Drox looked at the device, wondering what new horror he was about to see that could change his mind about the job. The money was so good, but money wouldn't matter if he and his crew didn't live to spend it. Grull pressed a button on the small device. A hologram appeared above the table between them. It showed a fancy room with many aliens in nice clothes. 2 years ago, Grull explained, I was hired to protect human diplomats on Rigel Prime during peace talks. The hologram showed 4 humans in formal clothes. They smiled and shook hands with tall, thin aliens. "Easy job," Grull continued. "Stand around, look tough, get paid." The humans had their own security too. Just one man. The hologram zoomed in on a human male standing near the diplomats. He wore a simple black suit. His face showed no emotion. He had short hair and looked ordinary in every way. "Hyuntae," Grull said. That was his name. "He doesn't look like a warrior," Drox said. "No, he doesn't." Grull took another drink. "That's the problem with humans. They never do." The hologram changed to show a different scene. The diplomats were walking from a building to a waiting vehicle. Grull and his fighters surrounded them. "We were attacked," Grull said. "Rigel separatists. They wanted to stop the peace talks." In the hologram, shots came from buildings around them. Grull's fighters took cover and fired back. Grull himself pushed the diplomats toward their armored vehicle. "I told everyone to get in the vehicle," Grull said. "My team would handle the attackers." But in the hologram, the human security officer, Hyun, did not get in the vehicle. Instead, he stepped away from the group. "What's he doing?" Drox asked. "Watch." Hyun reached into his jacket and pulled out a small object. Then he began to move. Drox had never seen anything move so fast. The human ran straight toward the attackers. Shots came at him, but somehow none hit him. He changed direction with each step, never moving in a straight line. That's not possible, Drox said. No one can dodge energy weapons. He's not dodging, Gruul explained. He's predicting where they'll shoot and not being there. In the hologram, Hyun reached the first attacker who stood behind a low wall. The attacker was a large four-armed Borean, twice the size of the human. Hyun moved his hand so fast it was hard to see. The Borean fell. What did he do? Drox asked. Used a pen, Gruul said flatly. A writing tool. Pushed it through the Borean's eye slit. Drox felt sick. A pen. It was made of metal. Gruul touched his own eye patch. Very sharp, very strong. The hologram continued. Hyun moved from one attacker to the next. He never hesitated, never showed fear. He used whatever was around him. A trash bin, a piece of pipe, his belt. 8 attackers went down in less than 20 seconds. We trained for years to fight like that, Gruul said. We wear armor, we carry weapons. This human had none of those things. The hologram showed Hyun returning to the vehicle. His suit was torn. Blood dripped from a cut on his face. But he walked calmly, as if nothing unusual had happened. When it was over, I asked him where he learned to fight, Gruul said. He told me he wasn't a fighter. He was a diplomatic security specialist. He said any human soldier would have done better. The hologram disappeared. Gruul put the device away and looked at Drox with his remaining 3 eyes. I've fought in 27 systems, Gruul said. I've killed beings from 50 different worlds. I've never been afraid until that day. Drox sat back in his chair. He thought about what he had just seen. Was the human Jun Kim like Hyun Tae? Like Dae Park? He had seemed so normal, so calm. Maybe these are special cases, Drox suggested. Special humans. Gruul shook his large head. That's what I thought too. So I did research, looked at human history. He leaned forward. It's all of them, Drox. Every single one has this potential. I don't understand. Neither do I. But I know this. Humans don't think like we do. They don't fight like we do. Gruul pointed to his metal hand. When a normal being is hurt, they back away. When a human is hurt, they get angry and fight harder. The bartender brought Drox a drink he hadn't ordered. Drox looked at the blue liquid, then back at Gruul. There's more, Gruul said. I have a friend in the Galactic Council. He sent me a file about humans. A battle they fought among themselves, on a place called Jeonju Island. Why is that important? 32 humans held off an army of 5,000 for 3 days. They had no food, little water, and were running out of weapons. Drox's upper eyes widened. That's not possible. When help finally arrived, 80% of the humans were injured, but they were still fighting. Gruul's voice was low now. When asked what they needed, they didn't ask for doctors. They asked for more ammunition. A cold feeling ran through Drox's body. He picked up his drink and finished it in one swallow. The human, Jun Kim, told me they are just colonists, Drox said. Farmers and miners. Maybe they are. Gruul stood up. But they're still human. And that makes them the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. After Gruul left, Drox sat alone for a long time. The bar got busier around him, but he didn't notice. His mind was full of what he had seen and heard. He took out the small metal card June had given him. The card seemed to get heavier in his hand. The money was so good. But now Drox understood why the pay was so high. No one else would take the job. His wrist computer beeped. It was a message from his ship. Commander, Mekla's voice said. Something interesting has come up. You should return to the ship. Drox put the card away and stood up. What now? More warnings about humans? He had seen enough. His mind was almost made up. The walk back to his ship seemed longer than before. Drox moved slowly, thinking about what to tell June, how to say no without giving away the real reason. When he reached the Dagger Fang, Mekla was waiting at the entrance. Her skin was a worried yellow color. "What is it?" Drox asked. "We got a message from our contact in Galactic Intelligence," she said. "He sent us some information about the Krishak raids on Horizon." Drox followed her inside the ship. They went to the command room where the rest of his officers were waiting. Zav, his intelligence officer, stood near a large screen. The thin, pale alien had 6 fingers on each hand and large black eyes that never blinked. "Tell him what you found," Mekla said to Zav. "The Kreshak aren't just raiding for food and resources," Zav said. His voice was soft. "Based on the attack patterns, they're targeting children." Drox felt his stomach turn. "Children?" 3 were taken in the last raid," Zav continued, "all under the age of 8. The room was silent. Drox looked at his officers. Each one showed anger in their own way. His species, like many in the galaxy, had strong feelings about protecting the young. "Why didn't the human tell us this?" Drox asked. "Maybe he didn't want to push too hard," Mekla suggested. "Or maybe—" She stopped. "Maybe what?" "Maybe he knows what will happen when the other humans find out," she said quietly. Drox thought about the videos he had seen. Day Park making a bomb in seconds. Hyuntae taking down 8 armed attackers with a pen. 32 humans holding off 5,000 enemies. What would such beings do when their children were threatened? "I need to think," Drox said. "Leave me." His officers filed out of the room. Drox sat in his command chair and closed his lower eyes. His upper eyes stared at the ceiling. The money was good. The job seemed simple. But now he knew better. Taking a human contract wasn't just dangerous, it might be suicide. Morning came to Station Nexus. The lights in the hallways brightened to match the day cycle. Shops opened. People moved about their business. Drox had not slept. He sat in his command chair all night thinking. By morning, he had made his decision. "Send a message to June Kim," he told Mekla. "Ask him to meet me at the Middle Garden at midday." Mekla's skin turned a relieved blue color. "You're going to refuse the job?" "Yes," Drox said. "We will not take the human contract." "Good decision," she said. "The money is not worth the risk." Drox stood up. His body felt heavy after sitting all night. "I need to clean up before the meeting." "Do you want me to come with you?" Mekla asked. "No. I'll handle this alone." 2 hours later, Drox walked into the middle garden of Station Nexus. It was a large, open space with plants from many different worlds. The air was fresh here, cleaner than the rest of the station. People came to the garden to relax or have quiet meetings. June Kim was already there, sitting on a bench near a small blue tree. He wore the same neat black suit as yesterday. His face was calm as he watched a fountain spray water into the air. Drox sat down next to him. The bench creaked under his weight. "Thank you for meeting me," Drox said. "Of course." June turned to look at him. "Have you made your decision?" Drox had planned a careful speech. He would talk about prior commitments, schedule conflicts, technical problems with his ship, anything but the truth. Instead, he found himself saying, "I know about the children." June's face changed for just a moment. A flash of pain crossed his eyes, then was gone. "I see." "Why didn't you tell me?" Drox asked. "Would it have changed your decision?" Drox thought about it. "Maybe. Then perhaps I should have told you." June looked back at the fountain. 3 children were taken. Min was 8. Sue was 6. Jin was only 4. Their parents watched it happen and could do nothing. Drox felt sick. "I'm sorry. The colony voted to spend everything we have to hire help," June continued. "People sold their homes, their possessions. They gave everything. And I am still going to say no," Drox said. June nodded slowly. "I understand." "Do you?" Drox asked. "Do you know why I'm refusing?" "You have prior commitments," June suggested, "or technical issues with your ship, or the job is too dangerous for the pay." "The pay is excellent. My ship is fine. I have no other commitments." Drox leaned closer. "I'm refusing because I'm afraid. This seemed to surprise June. Afraid? Of the Kreshak? I thought your team was the best in the sector. We are. And we could defeat the Kreshak, Drox said. I'm not afraid of them. Then what? I'm afraid of you. Of humans. June's face showed real confusion now. I don't understand. I think you do. Drox's voice was low. I've been doing research. I've seen videos. I've heard stories. I know what happens when humans fight. June was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was softer. We're just colonists. Maybe most of you are, Drox said. But you're not, are you, June Kim? Or should I call you by your real name? June's eyes narrowed slightly. What have you heard? Nothing specific. Just a feeling. Drox watched June carefully. The way you move. The way you talk. You're not just a businessman. June didn't deny it. He simply looked at Drox with those calm eyes. It doesn't matter, Drox continued. Even if you were just a simple farmer, you're still human, and that makes you dangerous. We're smaller than most species, June said. Physically weaker. We don't have natural weapons. No claws, no armor. And yet, when threatened, a single human can do things that would take 10 trained warriors from any other species. June didn't argue. He looked back at the fountain, his face showing nothing. I should inform you, he said after a long pause, that we've received news. The Kreshak plan to attack again tomorrow. Drox felt a chill run down his back. Tomorrow? So soon? Yes. We were hoping for professional help, but we'll manage. June stood up. Thank you for meeting with me, Commander Drox. I understand your decision. Something about the way June said it made Drox worried. The human showed no fear, no panic at the news of an attack coming so soon. No anger at being refused help. Just calm acceptance. What will you do? Drox asked. Against a Kreshak war fleet? June looked down at him, and for the first time, Drox saw something new in the human's eyes. Something cold and hard that hadn't been there before. Improvise, June said simply. They said goodbye, and June walked away. Drox watched him go, feeling uneasy. The human's calm was more frightening than any show of anger would have been. When Drox returned to his ship, there was a message waiting for him. It was from his contact in Galactic Intelligence, a secretive group that gathered information across the galaxy. Incoming call from Agent Pelix, the computer announced. Put it through, Drox said. A hologram appeared showing a thin gray alien with large eyes. Pelix had been Drox's friend for many years. He often gave Drox useful information about jobs. Drox, Pelix said quickly. I need to tell you something important about your potential client. June Kim? I just met with him. I turned down the job. Good. Pelix looked relieved. Then you don't know who he really is. I guessed he wasn't just a businessman, Drox said. Who is he? His real name is Colonel Kim Jun-ho. He's a decorated commander from Earth's Special Warfare Group. Drox felt his blood turn cold. A soldier? Not a diplomat? Worse than that, Pelix said. He specializes in what humans call asymmetric warfare, fighting against enemies with superior numbers or technology. What is he doing on Horizon? Officially, he's there as a colonial security consultant. Unofficially, Pelix paused. The Earth government sent him after the first raids, before the children were taken. Drox understood now. He was never going to hire us, was he? Not really. I don't know, Pelix admitted. But I do know that in the last 3 months the colony has received unusual shipments. Mining equipment, agricultural tools, nothing that looks like weapons. Unless you know how to use them as weapons, Drox said, remembering the video Vrex had shown him. Exactly. Pelix looked worried. There's something else. The colony's chief engineer is a woman named Mi-sun Kang. She used to design terraforming systems for the Earth military. Terraforming? Changing planets? Yes. She knows how to alter atmospheres, change terrain, control weather. Pelix's voice dropped lower. Imagine what someone like that could do if they wanted to create weapons instead. Drox thought about it, his mind filled with terrible possibilities. Poison gas, burning rain, ground that swallowed ships. I need to leave, Drox said suddenly. Get my ship out of this sector. I would recommend that, Pelks agreed. Whatever the humans are planning for the Kreshak, you don't want to be anywhere near it. After the call ended, Drox called his crew together. He told them they were leaving immediately. No one argued. They had all heard the stories about humans. As the Dagger Fang pulled away from Station Nexus, Drox stood at the view screen. He watched the station grow smaller. Somewhere down there, Colonel Kim Jun-ho, was preparing to return to his colony, to prepare for the Kreshak attack. Set course for the Ventier system, Drox told his pilot. Maximum speed. That's 3 days away at top speed, the pilot said. Good. Far enough. As his ship jumped to faster-than-light travel, Drox thought about the human colony on Horizon, about the children who had been taken, about what angry humans might do to get them back. For the first time in his long career, Drox was glad to be running away from a fight. Some battles were best watched from very, very far away. 3 weeks passed. Drox and his crew were at a small trading post in the Venti system, far from Station Nexus. They had taken a simple job protecting cargo ships from pirates. The work was easy and safe, just how Drox liked it. In the ship's common room, Drox sat with Mekla and Zav. They were watching the news on a large screen. The reporter was a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and a high voice. Breaking news from the Tau sector, the reporter said. The Kreshak marauder fleet that has been attacking settlements in that area has been destroyed. Drox's upper eyes widened. He sat up straight. The 7 ships were hiding in the asteroid belt near the human colony of Horizon when the incident occurred. The reporter continued. Official reports say a mining accident caused a chain reaction in the belt. All Kreshak ships were caught in the explosion. Mining accident? Mekla's skin turned disbelieving purple. 7 ships? All at once? Shh, Drox said. Listen. The human colony has issued a statement saying they regret the loss of life, but are relieved the threat to their settlement has ended. Galactic Council investigators are on their way to the scene, but early reports suggest this was indeed an accident. The news moved on to other stories. Drox turned down the sound and looked at his officers. Mining accident, Zav said quietly. Do you believe that? Not for 1 second, Drox replied. His wrist computer beeped. It was a message from Vrex. Speak of the devil, Drox muttered. Put it on the screen. Vrex's face appeared. The old mercenary looked shocked. Did you hear the news? Vrex asked without greeting. Just now, Drox said. Mining accident. Very sad. Accident? Ha! Vrex leaned closer to the camera. My salvage contacts just got back from there. They were first on the scene. I know what really happened. Tell me. The humans planned it all, Vrex said. They knew exactly where the Kreshak were hiding. They turned their mining equipment into weapons. How? Mekla asked. Those were warships. Strong shields. Heavy armor. The humans didn't attack the ships directly, Vrex explained. They attacked the asteroids. I don't understand, Drox said. The woman I told you about? The engineer Pelks mentioned? Mi-sun Kang? She modified their mining lasers, made them stronger. Then they cut strategic asteroids into pieces and pushed them toward the Kreshak ships. Drox tried to picture it. The asteroids hit the ships? Better than that, Vrex said with something like respect in his voice. The asteroid pieces hit each other first, created a chain reaction. The Kreshak couldn't escape because suddenly there were thousands of rocks flying in every direction. Very clever, Zav admitted. That's not all, Vrex continued. The humans used something they called atmosphere processors to create zones of unbreathable air for Kreshak biology. Any who survived the asteroids and tried to escape in small craft couldn't breathe once their air ran out. And then there were the excavators. Excavators? Drox asked. Big digging machines. The humans put armor on them and turned them into fighting vehicles. When the Kreshak command ship tried to run, 3 of these machines attached to its hull and cut their way inside. Vrex shook his head in wonder. The miners drove them, not soldiers, regular miners. Drox remembered what he had seen in the videos, humans using whatever tools they had as weapons, fighting without fear. What about the children, he asked. The ones who were taken? All recovered, Vrex said. The humans found them on the Kreshak command ship, alive. And the Kreshak? Vrex was quiet for a moment. Those who didn't die in the initial attack were captured. The humans are holding them under galactic law as pirates. They didn't kill them all? Drox was surprised. No. That's the strangest part, Vrex said. Once they had their children back, the humans stopped. They could have killed every Kreshak, but they didn't. They're following the law. After the call ended, Drox sat in silence. He thought about the human, Colonel Kim, about what he had said. Improvise. Such a simple word for what they had done. Commander, Zav said, interrupting his thoughts. There's a new message coming in. From Pelix in Galactic Intelligence. Put him through, Drox said. Pelix appeared on the screen. He looked tired. Have you heard? He asked. About the Kreshak? Yes, Drox answered. Vrex just told us the details. Then, you know it wasn't a mining accident, Pelix said. The humans turned their whole colony into a weapon. He shook his head. I've never seen anything like it. The Council is both impressed and terrified. What happens now? The Council has officially recognized the Horizon Colony, Pelix said. They've also issued new guidelines about attacking human settlements. What kind of guidelines? Don't. Pelix looked very serious. Ever. After Pelix ended the call, Drox stood up and walked to the viewing window. Stars shone in the darkness of space. Somewhere out there were the humans, on their small colony world. Normal-looking beings who could turn mining tools into weapons of war when threatened. I made the right choice, he said, more to himself than to his officers. No amount of money would have been worth going up against them. But we wouldn't have fought the humans, Mekla pointed out. They wanted to hire us to fight the Kreshak. Drox turned to look at her. Do you think so? I'm not sure anymore. What do you mean? Colonel Kim didn't need our help, Drox explained. He had a plan all along. What he needed was for us to stay out of the way. Zav nodded slowly. If we had taken the job, we would have used standard combat tactics. Direct attacks on the Kreshak ships, which might have warned them, Drox continued, ruined the surprise. Or worse, we might have accidentally destroyed evidence of where the children were kept. You think the human knew we wouldn't take the job? Mekla asked. I think he was covering all possibilities, Drox said. If we said yes, he would have used us his way. When we said no, he used that too. 2 days later, Drox received a message on his private channel. It was text only, no voice or video. It read, "Thank you for your consideration of our contract. The situation has been resolved. The children are safe. If you ever need anything in the Tau sector, Horizon Colony will remember your courtesy. Colonel Kim Jun-ho, Colonial Security." Drox read the message twice. The human knew that he knew his real identity, and yet there was no threat in the message, no anger about being refused. Just courtesy. That night, Drox called a meeting with all the mercenary captains he knew. 20 joined by hologram from across the galaxy. Vrex was there. Grohl, too. Others who had worked for decades as fighters for hire. I propose a new rule, Drox said to them, to be added to the Mercenary Guild's standard contract. What rule? Asked a captain he had known for years. This agreement is null and void if the opposing force consists primarily of human combatants, Drox said. There was silence for a moment. Then Grohl spoke up. I support this rule. As do I, said Vrex. One by one, the other captains agreed. They had all heard the stories. Some had seen the evidence themselves. Humans were too unpredictable, too dangerous to fight against. Later, as Drox prepared for sleep, Mekla came to his cabin. The new rule is being called the Horizon Amendment, she told him. It's spreading fast. Drox nodded. Good. It might save some lives. But we still take contracts from humans, right? She asked. They pay well. We consider them, Drox said, carefully. But we remember what we've learned. Humans look harmless. They're polite. They pay extremely well. And they are absolutely the most terrifying species in the galaxy to face in combat. He touched the small metal card June had given him. He had kept it as a reminder. Some things, Drox said quietly, simply aren't worth any price.